series review time. Now, after we have seen all 4 Hunger Games movies, we're going to deep dive into it and review it as a whole story. We've seen the first movie, the second movie, the third movie, and now it's time for us to put it all together. And I guess the third movie broke out into 2 parts, so pretty much third and fourth movie. Now it's time to put it all together and see if the Hunger Games is a series that's worth watching, or just watch 1 and 2 and not work on 3 and 4, or vice versa, or skip your way through some movies. So let's go ahead and review this episode here. Series review, The Hunger Games quadrilogy? Trilogy, not trilogy, so quadrilogy? Whatever, let's hop into it. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. In this review you want me to watch, let me know. Please put in the comment section below and I get to it as best I can. I'll also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Ali Zakka. For $2 a month, you get the review put out right before it comes out on Facebook and YouTube. I finish the stuff, get it out there for you, so that way you can watch it before it comes out on Facebook and YouTube. Plus you get other content on there. Now, let's go and get into today's episode of the quadrilogy. I feel like I'm saying the word wrong. Of the Hunger Games series 1 through 4. Which include The Hunger Games, the first one, Catching Fire, the second one, and Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2. Now, what is The Hunger Games about? The Hunger Games is about a tradition where each district puts 2 members of their district into an arena and they fight each other to the battle of the death. Pretty much battle royale, but more kind of involve kids or younger people. As this tradition is made to remind people of these years of war and the time when the 13 districts, or the 12 districts, sorry, the 12 districts had to fought each other and they had to separate. So every year each district puts 2 members into this battleground. Well, the person that gets put into it is Katniss Everdeen, to protect her sister Primrose. So she goes into it. She end up winning with a guy named Peter. They end up winning the first one. The first time ever 2 people from the same district won. The first time ever 2 people won the Hunger Games was a co-winner versus just one. And that rebellious mindset where she and Peter was like, we're going to kill each other together so there'll be no winner in the Hunger Games, sparked the fire amongst all the other districts to say, you know what, this girl right here can rise up against the government. We're going to rise up against the government too. And it becomes a movie about rebellion and people trying to take down the government trying to quench this rebellious girl who technically is not really doing it for the sake of everybody else. She's doing it for the sake of her family and friends. She loves her family and friends, and she doesn't really want to like have them be put in a situation where they're not safe. So she's trying to protect everybody, and that's why she gets put into the situation versus her saying, take it to the man, I'm gonna take him down. No, it was just more like, here's my sister, I don't want her going to the Hunger Games, I'm gonna step in for her, and now Peter's going to it, so let's go ahead and do this together. And the government's like, well, let's go ahead and squash this. So in Catching Fire, they decided to put all the winners back into it, and then it leads to another part where the other districts who decided to rise against the capital, not District 1, but the capital, uses as a time to sparked the rest of the rebellion. And then the third and fourth movie was about the war against the Capitol and the rebellion, the revolution versus the Capitol. And then from there it kind of leads into a whole nother situation. So that's pretty much the gist of the Hunger Games, rising up against not a tyranny, but I guess I don't even know if that's tyrannical, but a government that's pretty much oppressing its people. And by the way, how the districts work, the closer you are to the capital, District 1, 2, and 3, they're like living good lives. The further away from the capital, District 12, they're living like in rundown third world countries. Not even a third world country, like worse than third world. Like they're just people living with like minimum electricity, really not that much technology. It's really just rundown, kind of like, not huts in a sense, but like tin roofs up like that, versus the District 1, the capital, people living luxurious lives, and it's like people living in mansions and stuff like that. And that's the district. So the further away you get from the capital, the less people live a quality life. And the revolution kind of sparks that, where people like want to live a quality life. They don't want to live in the world they live in. They want to take out the government. And the first two movies, the likes here, are great. I love the first Hunger Games. I think it's an awesome movie. The second one is probably one of my favorite movies. I think one of the best sequels to a movie ever. The second one is really, really good. Where the series fall off on is the third and fourth movie when they break down the book, which is Mockingjay, into part one, part two. And there's issues with this because what they did wrong was kind of like they broke it up in a way where some scenes the pacing was kind of slow, and then the other scenes were like really, really like good and ready to go. And then they have introduction of mutts in the fourth movie, which you never heard about them. They talk about what are mutts, and they kept calling Peter a mutt. Peter called Katniss a mutt, and you're like, what is that? And then you finally see one. You're like, well, we haven't introduced this kind of monster until the fourth movie, when this will be the finale of it all, but yet we're referencing it throughout this movie like we, the audience, should know. And they should have took time to explain that a little bit, give you exposition. And then the whole flip where President Coin, who comes in, they lead the rebellion, comes in the third movie, and then she ended up being like the main villain in the fourth movie, and you're just like, I don't care. Like, she'll be threatened by Katniss, which makes sense, but at the same time, this character just came in out of the third movie and fourth movie, and there's not really much to build her up to be like, she's somebody of importance. Really, you're following Katniss and her trying to rescue Peeta and her trying to do what she can to save her family. So when President Coin becomes like the big bad, you're just like, well, this was underwhelming. It really is. Then the first and second movie things I like, the storyline with the not even triangle. Really, that triangle doesn't take effect until the third movie, but the relationship between Peeta and Katniss, where Peeta's in love with Katniss, and Katniss is like, I can take it or leave it. I really don't care. I don't really like him. But they both experience a traumatic event together, so it kind of links them for the rest of their lives. And it gets to the point where Peeta in the end of the series wins. He gets the love of his life, while Katniss just kind of like felt like she settled. It's the books try to do a lot better job of it, and the movies just seem like, well, Gale was a jerk, and Peeta understands me more. So Peeta it is, versus like there was no really sense of like Katniss really wanted Peeta. And I guess the fourth movie could have done a better job of her expressing her love to him versus her just kind of like, F this guy. And then the end of it like, oh, Peeta, you came back for me. And you're just like, sure. Okay, Katniss. Okay. But I would say the movies, and I didn't read the third book, so the third book probably does a way better job, because the second and first book are really, really good. I finished halfway of the first one, read all the second one, and are really, really good when it comes to the books. And the movies, I feel like did a good job bringing those books to life. The movies did a way good job of doing that, and I thought the movies was awesome. I love the first and second movies. I can't think of anything bad to say about them. The music for the series is good. The acting in this movie, and the whole series actually is really good. The acting for everybody is top tier. Great work from them. I love everybody's acting in this movie. It's just when it comes down to it, I think breaking the third movie up into two parts, the third book into two parts didn't do the movie series justice. And I think that's where it falls off on when it comes to the Hunger Games series. But the CGI, I think, is strong. It holds up in each movie. The CGI is really good. I think like I talked about the music, the costume design was one of the coolest things, I think, to me in this movie. The first movie, costume design, it really showed you the world and how each district is different. And I love that. And the war, I will say the war show, like, when you're watching this movie, there's no question about, are people suffering? Are people in a war? Are people trying to fight back? It shows you all of it. In each movie, you are seeing people struggle. You're seeing people overcome. You're seeing people get oppressed. You're seeing people fight back. Like, it's all of it. And I think it is like just so good storytelling to express that. So you watch it, you're like, man, I actually feel for these characters. I can understand where these characters are coming from. I see their torment. I see their turmoil. I see their justice. I see their arrival. I see them overcoming and overtaking. Like, all that is there in this movie, which most movies talk about when there's war going on. Like, well, we're in war. Are we? I don't see people struggling. I don't see people doing this. I don't see people overcoming. I don't see people showing this. Like, I don't see the effects of the war playing out on the lives of the characters you're watching the movie of, watching the show of. In the Hunger Games, Susan Collins does a good job, and the movie does a good job expressing that no, they are not living good lives. They are struggling, and they're scared, and they're trying to overcome and using their courage and heart. So good job on that, like giving you the world building, which most movies and shows have a hard time doing. And I would say this show, this series, this movie does a good job building world building in this. But as far as like my dislikes, I think the third and fourth movie, the pacing of it really was slowed down, and they did some things where you're just like, I don't know. I'm not a movie writer, I'm not a script writer, so I don't know what's the best way you could have done it where you just express like President Coin being a more villain, more of the shadows, maybe. Cause she just seemed like in the background most of the time until President Snow was like, that wasn't me who decided to attack the kids. Like, that's messed up. When President Snow said that and Katniss was like, are we agreeing right now? And Coin and Gail was like, yeah, we had to do what we had to do. And Coin was like, we should do another Hunger Games with all the Capitol people. And you're like, did we just go these last 3 movies to stop this and you want to continue this? Like, is there a way to make her more of a prevalent villain where it's where you start to hate her guts? And you're like, I don't like her. She doesn't seem like a good guy. I don't like her. And then when it shows the reveal, you're like, that makes more sense. Cause I think we can tell that she didn't get along with Katniss, but it wasn't a way that they made it seem like she had much weight in the whole games of things. Now, are the last 2 movies bad? No, they're not bad, but they're not great either. They're okay movies, and I think after the first and second movie being so good and great, that you kind of fall off on these last 2 where you're just like, could take it or leave it, and I think they're gonna play in my final grade with the series as a whole. The first 2 knock it out the park, the last 2 just like, Let's go and get some shout out to the cast and crew here. Jennifer Lawrence, who plays Katniss, I think amazing job, phenomenal. She's great work from her throughout all the movies. Peter, who was played by Josh Hutcherson, I think Josh does a good job as well. He knocks it out the park for his character. Liam Hemsworth, who plays Gale. The last movies he's in, he finally gets more of a part. He gets more of a shine, and I think Liam Hemsworth does a good job being the stoic character who kind of like, we gotta do what you gotta do, is military focused. And I like the fact that he gets more of a part in the end of the movie there, whereas the first 2 movies you really don't get much of Gale. Woody Harrelson and Haymitch. Woody Harrelson is one of the favorite parts of the first movie and parts of the second movie, and it sucks in the third and fourth. He just relegated to the sideline, but I love Woody Harrelson. Elizabeth Banks as Effie Trinket and Stanley Tucci as Caesar Flickerman. They're great in the first 2 movies. Like, love their characters, love their design, love the way they brought these characters to life. They kind of fall off on the wayside in the third and fourth one as well. Donald Sutherland as President Snow, menacing, great work from him. Like, he really brought this egotistical, kind of like maniacal kind of character, and the way his talking pattern and speeches went, phenomenal job from him. Wes Bentley, who plays Seneca Crane, thought he did a good job. Thought he was a good character design in the first movie. I wish he was around more movies, but he dies off. Sam Claflin, who plays Finnick Odair, thought he was a great character. Like, brought I like the energy and charisma he brought to the movie when he was a character in the second one. Like, he was all out, like, great work. I wish we actually got more of his backstory in the third and fourth one, especially when it came to his love relationship with his girlfriend, who becomes his wife. We don't get much of that side. We don't get why he's doing this and why he's doing the stuff. And then in the fourth one, he dies, and you're just like, there could have been so much more with this character that we just don't get, and I feel like we kind of fell off there, but I think he was a strong character in the second movie. Last but not least, the other 2 characters, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who plays Heavens B, I thought he did a good job. And then Julianne Moore, who plays President Coin, when she became the villain in the fourth movie, I thought she did a good job as well. That's the shout I want to get to the series. There's much more characters out there who deserve to shine, but those are the main ones that I want to give a shout out to. Okay, let's see here. Any other thoughts? Not really. I think, like I talked about the music, the CGI, the designs, everything was great. I love that. The main storyline was solid, and I think it plays out as an overall story. I just think the third movie didn't deliver right. Now, this is a series you should watch. Yes, you should watch the Hunger Games series. Go ahead and give it a watch. Enjoy the movies and grading time. I'm going to grade the Hunger Games series a C+, 79%. You get 79% for me. The reason why the first and second movies are strong movies, really good to great movies, freaking love them. The third and fourth one they didn't hit as much. I understand the third one was a setup to the fourth one, then the fourth one kind of was like, it just didn't really deliver all the way through, and I think that's fine. So this series gets, from me, it gets a C+, a 79%. I just think the last two movies, third and fourth, didn't deliver as well as the first two. Like, it kicks off hard, you're like, let's go, and then the ending of it, you're just like, it's fine, I'll take it or leave it. You know, it's a cool series. So that's my series review of the Hunger Games. If you've seen the Hunger Games series, like all 4 movies, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys in the next episode of Movie Breakdowns, and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If there's a review you want me to watch or do, let me know. Please put it in the comment section below this video. Also, you want to watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns, it's right there. Just gotta click on it and you'll be able to watch it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all, and keep being awesome.